Hello and welcome to World of Tanks with Rapsikis. Now, adding on to my previous video about top tier profitability being a bit not viable, I would like to give you guys a tip on how to actually make credits. So obviously the premium tanks are designed to give you experience bonus, more credits, and the ability to use a crew from a different tank. Obviously the tank has to be of the same class and the same nation, but if you meet those criteria, then you can use any other crew in a premium vehicle, which means that you obviously train your crew faster for that particular vehicle, and you don't have to have a separate crew for the premium vehicle, so there's quite a few advantages. And then obviously the credit bonus or credit aspect of it. So we're watching Polski Vitex, I'll just be calling him Polski, who's playing in the Super Pershing, the T26E4, which has quite formidable armor. However, there are a few very prominent weak spots, which we'll be getting to later. So let's first talk about how to make credits. Obviously, if you minimize your repair cost, in other words, try not to allow your enemies to penetrate, as he's very well demonstrating here, 3 shots, 4 shots, 5 shots taken, all bounced, then obviously you won't pay any repair cost for those shots. Then secondary, you need to spot for yourself. If you don't spot for yourself, if you're doing the shooting while someone else is doing the spotting, then you will share your experience and credits with the person doing the spotting for you. So work on your view range, try to get it up to max. If you don't have coated optics installed, I recommend you do, if you have an equipment slot available. Now, a very good thing that Polski is also doing here, he's tracking the IS-2 in place while penetrating him through the tracks. So he's trying to provide an opportunity for his team to also do damage, which will obviously count towards his assistance damage, as you see there, and also forcing the IS-2 or locking the IS-2 in place without allowing him the opportunity to move, thus allowing himself time to reload and push more shots into him. Right, so back to the weak spots on the Super Pershing. Once he rolls out in front again, I will pause the game and discuss that a little bit. The Super Pershing is one of the older premium tanks, which means that the mindset of wargaming hadn't quite yet changed to the, let's be honest, pay-to-win mindset they currently have, where, for example, the Chrysler GF doesn't have any frontal weak spots, making it a little bit unfair or impractical to face it head-on. The Super Pershing has some quite realistic, or at least viable, weak spots, which we'll be getting to quite soon. Alright, obviously you see Polski penetrating the hatch at the top there. That is a good option, but it's not necessarily the best option depending on where your enemy is, simply because the angle is quite intense, the target is quite small, and especially if you're snapping your shots, you will have some difficulty in actually landing the shot there where you're aiming. Right, so this AMX and KB85 are working quite well together, and unfortunately Polski hits the AMX on the turret there, which would then not be able to penetrate, and then he hits him at a very clever place right next to the turret, or not, right next to the gun on the turret, which isn't very thick armor. It's well sloped, but with proper penetration you can get through it. Right, so this WZ-131 tries to hide behind the IS-6. Clever move, but unfortunately his turret was protruding, and at that angle it was easy to penetrate. Now Polski turns his attention back to the enemy Super Pershing, and now I'm going to pause the game for a short while. Let's just move forward a bit. Right, so I'm going to switch on free look. You'll see the Super Pershing in front of you here has a couple of very prominent weak spots. This corner here, between the turret and the hull, only has about 76 mil of armor, and sloped, even like this, you'll only go up to about 120 millimeters. So that's easily penetratable by any tier 6 and up. You'll see this side also has similar armor, but the sloping is much better. So if you have the option, always go for this side, the tank's left, not the tank's right. This is harder to penetrate. The hatch, as you can see, is quite well sloped there as well. And then this little machine gun port here, it's only 76 mil of penetration, or 76 point something. So it's very easy to penetrate if you manage to hit. So if you have good accuracy, I would recommend going for this. Alright, let's get back to the game and switch off free look. Now, Polski has done very well for himself. He hasn't taken 500 hit points of damage yet, but he's dealt nearly 10 times that amount. So, obviously, if you can push your damage total up to this kind of total, then your profitability will be incredible. However, it's not always an option, so depending on the tank you have, your playstyle in order to make credits will be slightly different. If you've got something like this with very strong frontal armor, obviously you want to be right in the front of the action and try to angle very cleverly and hide your weak spots so that you can deal damage without taking any damage. If you have a very fast tank with a good view range, obviously you'll try to provide vision to your allies without allowing the enemies to shoot at you. And then if you've got something with a great gun and no armor or view range, like the 122-44 that I have, you will try to get in a position where you can shoot and hide behind hard cover so that you don't allow the enemies to shoot at you. I'm going to speed it up for a little while because it is quite boring to watch a Super Pershing driving. Until he finds the AMX, lands a shot on him, another shot, and then our hero manages to penetrate the turret once again. So if you're facing one of these French autoloaders, you can penetrate the turret. Don't give up. Just try not to hit the gun or directly next to the gun, as the sloping there is intense. You will not be able to penetrate there. Alright. Moving on. Polski starts congratulating his team. I wouldn't say it's premature because it is rather foregone. One artillery piece and one TD. Now just one artillery piece remaining. And that's the end of that. So not quite a top gun, but 5 kills, over 5,000 damage done and blocked. This is really a very good result. If you want to grind credits, this is the way to do it. Let's just have a quick look at the post-game stats. Ace Tanker, I'm not going to go through all of the awards. There was a Spartan and Steel Wall as well. If you look at the team details, Polski managed to do more than 3 times the amount of damage that the second best player or second highest damage player in his team did, and more than double the best on the enemy team. That is quite significant, and this whopping base experience of 1,623, you're not going to see that every day, but do try to get there. Right, so to the money shot. You'll see that I'm not quite sure what battle payments are. It might be personal reserves, but that alone covered all his expenses, the repairs, the ammunition, and the consumables. So basically, the income he received is the profit that he made, nearly 106,000 credits. Very well done, Polski. Thank you for uploading the replay, and thank you for watching.